What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today we're discussing Andrew Jacked switching from the IFBB Elite to the IFBB Pro League, Patrick Moore, Iain Valliere, and Jon De La Rosa, their 2021 competition plans. Phil Heath's wife helps with his gut issues, plus a new Greene posing video. Now let's start with Andrew Jacked switching to the IFBB Pro League and NPC. So Nick Strength and Power did a video today, and he actually got a private message from Andrew Jacked, and here's what it said. Hi bro, just wanted you to have this, and your thought will go a long way in helping me push further. These are the pics collected from different people while on stage Saturday, 10th of the 4th, 2021. First show was first, second show was first, overall was complicated. I'm not too sure what that means. I didn't care less because I was just using this show for practice to build my confidence more into the big one coming NPC, IFBB, June or July. In brackets, not elite no more, and then a laughing face. So Andrew Jacked is going to be out of the Elite League. He's going to be competing with the IFBB Pro League side of things in the NPC in hopes to get his IFBB Pro card. So it's only really a few months away. It's June and August. It's actually coming around really quick. So could Andrew Jacked actually get his pro card this year, go on maybe compete in an IFBB Pro show, maybe qualify for 2021 Mr. Olympia? Now we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there because there are some amazing competitors, like I mentioned at the start of this video, that are going to be competing later this year. And it'd be very, very hard to win a show or accumulate enough points to get to that 2021 Mr. Olympia. But he looks absolutely phenomenal. So he competed this weekend in his first IFBB, Elite Pro show. Looked phenomenal. Like, these photos are a lot better than the ones we saw from the week before. You can see a lot more detail through his quads. You can just see his physique overall a lot better, and he's a lot more balanced than I thought. He has more details through his quads than I thought. Just overall, his physique is better than I thought, and I didn't give this guy even enough credit in my first video, and I still gave him a ton of credit. So very, very impressive. Very impressive, Andrew Jacked. Can he make it to the 2021 Mr. Olympia, or can he win an IFBB Pro show this year or next year? Let me know what you think in the comments below. He's got a huge future. I think we're a little ahead of ourselves if we're saying he's going to qualify for 2021 Mr. Olympia. 2022, maybe. I definitely think that's a possibility for Andrew Jacked, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, a few guys that you have to beat in 2021 to get to that 2021 Mr. Olympia. It's Patrick Moore, Iain Valliere, and Jon De La Rosa, who have all but confirmed they're competing in the 2021 Tampa Pro. I've heard some other names bandied around as well that may be doing that show too, and no doubt there's going to be a ton of competitors that haven't got their qualifications in earlier shows that will compete in this 2021 Tampa Pro. So it's going to be a stacked show by the looks of it. So Patrick Moore, on the latest episode of JTV, where he has some training footage up there, said this.
Are you eyeing anything this year? Or?
Yeah, I told Chris maybe we should look at Tampa or Chicago. Okay. Because they're the furthest out. Okay. And it gives us time.
To the contest.
Yes, sir.
So it appears he's locked in for Tampa and Chicago. Now, Iain Valliere mentioned on Fuad Abiad's podcast that he'll be doing Tampa and Toronto, I believe. And then Jon said this on his Instagram story today.
It is looking like the Tampa Pro as of right now.
So it looks like Jon De La Rosa will likely be in that Tampa Pro as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he does in 2021. In 2020, he didn't bring his best to the stage. I think he only did one show, didn't bring his best, and then shut it down for 2021. He said he's going back to basics. He's trying to put on more size for 2021. And that's really what Jon needs, because he's very balanced. He's come in very good condition before and won shows. But for him to get better, it's just a little bit extra overall, and just, to improve over the years, maybe even better conditioning slightly, even though that's pretty hard based off what he brought in 2019. But he can do very, very well, and he has done very, very well in the past. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring in 2021, and if he can improve on that 2019 Mr. Olympia physique. Iain Valliere is looking very, very big in his off-season as well right now. You can see from these recent photos, he looks enormous, and the recent training footage as well suggests the same thing, and he's always super, super strong in the gym. So excited to see what Iain Valliere does in 2021, because people will almost forget he came 7th in the Mr. Olympia. He was only one spot outside that top 6, where Akeem Williams came 6th. And then you've almost got that top 5, which has almost been solidified from the past Olympia, where you got William Bonac, Huddy Choop, and you had Phil Heath. But obviously Phil isn't going to be there this year, but we're going to have a bunch of different guys probably coming into that Olympia as well. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see how Iain Valliere can do in 2021. And this show might not be his best show for the year. Now, why am I saying that? Iain Valliere even said on a podcast recently that typically the first show of each year is sort of like his worst, and he continues to get better through the season. And that's exactly what happened last year. Look at Tampa. He came in, not his best at all. He lost to Hunter Labrada, still came second in a pro show, which is very impressive, but was not his best. Then he competed in New York. He was definitely better there. Then he competed in the Olympia, where that was his all-time best, in my opinion, by far. So he definitely improved contest to contest throughout a bodybuilding season. So maybe this won't be his best, and this will be an opportunity for a guy like Patrick Moore, a guy like Jon De La Rosa, to potentially beat Iain Valliere and get that Olympia qualification. Let me know what you think in the comments about how you'd place these three guys and how you think they'll actually place in that Tampa Pro. Now, a story I didn't think I'd be reporting on, and that's Phil Heath doing a vacuum pose. Well, sort of doing a vacuum. As you can see by this photo here, this was actually posted up by Shurie Cremona, which is Phil Heath's wife. And she put a big caption with it as well. I'm going to read it to you because there's a few interesting things in there as well. So here it goes. You can't heal a body you don't love, and you can't live in abundance and gratitude while living in fear and stress. I'm so happy that Phil Heath has trusted me with his health. I've been on a healing journey for many years. I've traveled around the world to see doctors in hopes of finding answers. I've had to be my own best doctor, and through that, I've learned a few things along the way. Gut microbiome issues are such a monster to heal. It takes diligence and patience. Unfortunately, most humans suffer with gut microbiome issues due to GMO, medication, water through showers and drinking it, poor quality food, and the biggest beast of them all, stress. There are many layers to healing. Many don't know that Phil Heath has been through an insane amount of stress and hardship. The loss of his father while he was guest posing, an extremely expensive, very hostile, emotionally draining, ongoing divorce battle, the loss of his stepmom, helping his brother who is high-functioning autistic, who has no parents, and the loss of a company built due to bad partnerships. I've been with Phil for 6 years, and I've seen countless stupid jokes about Phil's stomach and how he is pregnant. The gut comments from judges, fans, and fellow IFBB pros. Hate comes with being the best, especially while being the first Mr. Olympia to endure. Hate comes from being the best, especially while being the first Mr. O to endure social media. Fact is, Phil experienced hate during high school and college while playing ball. It is nothing new, and he knows it comes with the territory. No one knows what happens behind closed doors, and no one will live in your pain. I know it's hard to believe under all that muscle, Phil is actually a human being just like you. The stress he carries in his body is beyond what anyone could imagine, and he won 7 times with that stress and pain and never once complained or made excuses. I'm so proud to help him in this chapter. The best chapter that involves continued healing, letting go of traumatic past bullshit, unconditional love, and the freedom to be himself. Phil Heath, I'm proud of your resilience, strength, and your relentless pursuit of greatness in all you do. I love you. So there's a lot of interesting stuff to come out of that. I actually posted a video the other day suggesting why I think Phil Heath is actually retired. He actually posted up a quote on his Instagram story, as you can actually see here. I haven't got it right in front of me now, but it sort of says the same thing about the next chapter in your life and moving on to the next chapter or the next thing or whatever. Can't remember the exact quote, but I read it and, Phil Heath said amen underneath it. And I thought, you only reshare something like that if you're, I suppose, resonating with it. And Phil Heath was obviously resonating with that and moving on to the next chapter. Phil obviously competed in the 2020 Mr. Olympia in his comeback, which was only in December. And we were talking a few months later, and what are we in now, March or April, posting up this sort of thing, most people are going to think that's due to, the next chapter or moving on to the next thing is probably moving away from the bodybuilding stage. That's sort of what I took from it. And this is what Shurie said. I am proud to help him in this chapter. So talking about the best chapter that involves continued healing, letting go of traumatic past bullshit and all that sort of stuff. So moving on to the next chapter for Phil Heath, that suggests to me that he's retired from the bodybuilding stage. Now, something in there that suggests to me that he might not be retired from the bodybuilding stage is discussing all this gut health and microbiome and all that sort of stuff. And actually the fact that this is a photo of Phil doing a vacuum or at least pulling his midsection in suggests to me that the actual double hernia was not the only reason why Phil Heath had bloating at, the last 2 Mr. Olympias he's done. It suggests to me that this microbiome issue may have been a bigger reason as to why Phil Heath has actually had this bloat, because we've seen Phil on stage. He was trying to hide it a little bit at the Mr. Olympia in 2020. Very smart of Phil. Who wouldn't try to, hide it if you have a little bit of bloat in the midsection? It's a smart thing to do. Now, he was unable to control it as prejudging went on. Now, was it more because of the microbiome issue or is it more because of the double hernia surgery? Because he did have that surgery. It was apparently healed, but he still had the bloating issue on stage with the midsection. And I think it was probably just as bad as it was back in 2019. And a lot of interesting stuff in here as well. Obviously mentions the divorce that Phil Heath went through. I had no idea it was, this, I suppose, hostile divorce, which is horrible for anyone that's probably been through that sort of experience. I know people that have awful experience, and you can only imagine sort of how rough that is mentally and how stressful it is. So obviously that does reflect on your physique and does reflect on, I suppose, your mental health as well. So I definitely feel Phil Heath there. So it sounds like Phil has been through quite a lot, and hopefully through this next chapter, as he and his partner have talked about, he's able to reduce his stress and be a lot healthier and fix these gut issues, because I know gut issues can be absolutely no joke, and I've actually had stress-induced gut issues as well. My gut will bloat all the way out and it'll be hard as a rock. And now I haven't had many gut issues like that. My actual dad has. He's had sort of an IBS sort of issue where his gut will bloat out and he looks literally pregnant when he's eating the wrong foods and all that sort of stuff. And these things can come on suddenly. Like, he literally ate something once, and ever since then, it has been terrible for him, and he has to be very careful with certain foods he eats. So I know it's no joke. There might be some issues with Phil that, where he's eating something and it's causing his midsection to bloat, but he can't eat anymore. And maybe he's doing that in his carb up process. Who knows? So I don't know if Phil Heath is officially retired or not. I mean, he definitely hasn't officially retired, but I don't know if he, in his head has retired and he's not coming back to the bodybuilding stage, or if he fixes these gut issues and he thinks, maybe I can get back to on the bodybuilding stage, because the gut was really the only one issue that he had, at the last couple of Mr. Olympias. Had his gut been in check at the last Mr. Olympia, maybe he still wouldn't have won Tarami, but the one before against Sean Roden, I think he would have. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Phil Heath will make a comeback to the bodybuilding stage? And what do you think about his gut issues? Could this have been what caused the bloating over the actual double hernia? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So in our last story, we're discussing Kai Greene. I know a lot of you guys don't like it. That's why I left it to the end of the video. So if you want us to shut it off now, you can. But there's a recent posing video of Kai Greene shirt off in a pair of shorts, so you can see his calves as well. You can't see the quads and hamstrings and everything, unfortunately. But this is probably the most posing we've seen from Kai Greene, and knowing that it's actually a new video as well. I've checked when they were actually, Alex Cambronero, who's in this video as well, when him and Kai Greene were actually training get together and all that sort of stuff. And it seemed like it was a few days ago by both their Instagram pages as well. Now, Alex Cambronero is the Arnold Classic champion in classic physique. So he's no joke. And Kai Greene does make him look small here. Now, it's terrible lighting in this video, so you got to sort of take it on face value a little bit. You can see Kai Greene is monstering Alex Cambronero, and Alex Cambronero isn't a small guy. He's the Arnold classic physique champion, so he's obviously got a fair bit of muscle here, as you can see. So obviously an IFBB Pro open men's bodybuilder should be bigger than a classic physique guy. It's just the way it works, but he's monstering him. So Kai Greene still has a ton of size. He still stays in pretty good shape. Everyone wants to see him on stage. He's signed with Redcon. He's out there. He seems like he's training all the time now. Aaron Singman did say to me, he said, if Kai was going to make a comeback, we'd move him down to Florida. We'd film the whole thing, all that sort of stuff. And he did say to me in an interview as well, we didn't pay him not to compete. So could Kai Greene be competing at the 2021 Mr. Olympia? If he does not compete this year, I am done talking about it. I will not talk about Kai Greene coming back unless there is some serious evidence that Kai Greene will be coming back in early 2022 or something like that. So you have my word on that one. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Could Kai Greene be competing in the 2021 Mr. Olympia or any other show in 2021 or early 2022? Let me know what you think in the comments below on that. And that's it for this video. If you guys like and appreciate this content, please give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. And a heads up, we have Desktop Bodybuilding merch on the way. It is coming very, very soon. Keep an eye out over the next couple of videos. There will be a link in the description to buy your Desktop Bodybuilding t-shirt. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. So that's it for me. For Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.